guest of Sean Mills. That's going to be the podcast. We got a Zoom call for that one. So a little bit in here and there. The connection is a little spotty, but other than that, it was a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful episode. Sean is pretty much he's giving a rundown on what Pure Passion is, the sports agency that he has. It's a consulting agency as well. He's going to be talking about the upcoming events that he has coming up in January. And for that video, for that podcast episode, I'm gonna have all the links in the description, just in case, for example, for you guys out there that's up and coming hoopers, get in contact with them. But you got to be serious. You got to really, really want to work. Don't be one of those people who just you play basketball in your free time and you pretty much think, I can't do it. Serious inquiries only, for his business. You don't want to waste a man's time, But other than that, I hope this podcast has been helping you guys out in some way, shape, or form. I'm trying to do my best and deliver a good message, and you guys hearing different people's insights and how they go about life and how they go about figuring things out, and notice that we all got way more in common than we think. A lot of people, and where we get division and bump heads is because people don't try to find common ground. And what I'm trying to do with Even Purpose Served is people find common ground in somebody else's journey and a dream that they're living, and say, ooh, boom, 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 I could do that too. I can apply that for myself. And this month, the first two episodes is going to be two basketball oriented episodes, and then after that, I'm gonna just keep that a surprise for you guys. And other than that, that pretty much wraps up everything that I have to say. All right, man. Welcome to another Purpose Served podcast episode, man. We got a very, very, very special guest today, man. We got a legend in the building. We got Sean Mills, man, CEO and founder of Pure Passion Sports. Now, the very first thing that I want to ask you is how you came about of founding Pure Passion Sports and what led up to you to go down this avenue.
Well, me starting Pure Passion Sports is basically because I play basketball. Um, I didn't have that person in my corner that was going to, just help me on the right path, to guide me the right way. So that's why I started Pure Passion Sports. I went and got the, appropriate certifications to really help the people the way I know that I could. I wanted to basically uplift the community. A lot of people in our community play basketball. A lot of people in our community get taken advantage of. So I wanted to be that person to, be basically the middleman to help people reach their purpose.
So I know, to start this whole journey off and this process off for you, it had to be extremely frustrating and difficult due to the fact that you were the first person to do this, and it came based off of problems that you've seen around you and those problems needing a solution. So with that being said, how are you working through the stressful situations and the frustrations that you was experiencing when it came to first starting this whole entire thing off? Because it's for certain people, when they meet them shortcomings, those are for sure signs for them to quit. And what made you press on through all of that?
What made me really press on is my expectations wasn't, I didn't come in with the expectations that, I'm here to make X amount of money. If I came in with that mentality, like I'm coming here to be rich from this,
Yeah.
then it would not have happened. The frustration would have boiled over. I would have quit a long time ago. So that wasn't the reason why I did it. So that's what allowed me to press on. I knew that, people in our community had very little resources. And I didn't even reach out for really any help. Everything that I did was from the muscle. I put my money where my mouth is. I always wanted to add more value. And I seen these guys coming in offering these all type of tryouts to these overseas combines and stuff like that. That's not even really legit. I seen people, coming in charging all this money for training and not even giving people the right training. A lot of guys that play basketball, they have other problems off the court that need to be addressed. Maybe if that was addressed, then their on the court basketball skills they shine even brighter. So that's why I really just had to expect for cost. So that's what allowed me to actually press on instead of, giving up. Because if I lost some dollars, I'd have been like, man, I'm out of here. Because I lost. When I say I put my money where my mouth is, I do that.
And with that being said, people need to, I always say this, have a direction and a set course for themselves. Like, for example, you had it set out, the plan that you had and what you had to do to get it done. For a lot of people, they don't know what plan that they have, so that can lead them going down any and whatever path, So what helped you in the beginning fine tune what it is that you had to do in order to get whatever it is that you had to get done in order to found, Pure Passion Sports?
Okay, it was just I sat back and had to break apart the process. So I say, okay, if I want to help guys get overseas jobs, what qualifications do I need for that? So I went and got the certification for sports management. That was one accreditation that I needed. Got that, pursued it. Then I thought, you know what, to reach, actually certified levels of basketball, because there's overseas basketball and there's real leagues. Everywhere is not a real league. It might be overseas basketball, but that's just basketball in another country.
So
not an actual league. So then I know that I needed to be certified through FIBA. So being certified through FIBA, I had to take the test, fly out, make sure I passed that exam, and I did that. So right there, that was another step in the process. I had to reach out to different teams to have a network. I did that. So that way I was, basically building bridges as I went along the process.
So for people, like, you know what I mean, they don't understand, like, overseas, that it's so many different, leagues, there's so many different levels, and it's an intricate system, like, over there that's already within a system. So, for example, for somebody that never played overseas before, how can you break it down to them to understand that, not everything over there is like a EuroLeague situation? You feel me?
Expectations is they'll always come back to expectations. You have to realize that, you're not a star player. Actually, I would say 9 out of 10 times, if you go play basketball overseas, you're not going to be rich. Guys have the thing like, I want to go play basketball overseas. I want to go play basketball overseas. The money is not always good. You could be over there. I seen guys go over there for as low as $200 a month. I seen guys actually pay to go over there. And a lot of that, honestly, doesn't make any sense. It makes sense if you want to just go for an experience. Like, you know what, I love the game. I want to just pursue it at all costs. As long as I'm a young guy, I don't have a young woman too. I don't have any family. I don't have this. Or I don't have responsibilities like that. Go get the experience. Go get the rewards. But you just have to know what you're getting into. Just like everything, you're more likely to be successful if you know what you're getting into. And that's hard sometimes because, none of us have that type of foresight. Man, do your research on where you would like to go. Check the income of what they actually offering over there.
Right.
The longevity is not there. You can go play for a season and, either during the season or the next season, most likely will replace you.
And
It's a revolving door.
Another thing that I also wanted your insight on is to also let people, like, in on even the different types of living situations overseas. Like, you know what I mean? That people think that they're going to go over there and just have a house to themselves, all of this, and it could be a situation when you don't even have a room to stay, and you're going to be on the
You have
couch.
certain. Oh man, it could be a situation where you're on the floor, not even on the couch. I mean, it just depends, man. I mean, you have some countries, some organizations that's going to fit you out right. You have other organizations that they don't have the resources. So, I mean, regardless of the situation, be prepared to leave your comfort zone. Um, you know, you could be in places where you don't eat the food. You might want to be in fast food. They wind up being sick a whole lot. It's just so, I mean, there is a lot of things with that. Like, you're just not going over there for fame, and everybody's going to be screaming your name. It's going to be intense pressure. And you handle that being, going to a league where you have very few imports, where the expectation is that you're going to carry the team. And not just carry the team, but carry the team to a championship. That's just a whole nother thing within itself. So, yeah, I'm going over there and I'm getting 20. But, when our local recreation league start, this same player is back. And you're like, I just thought you left last month. You know,
Yo, word
that's
up,
the thing.
man.
So it's not all what it's cracked up to be. There's there's some places that you'll go to where you'll love it. You can stay there for a long time, have a great experience. Some people wind up, if they in a situation long term, some people wind up staying there.
Yeah. So it just like, it seemed like,
but I mean, most likely you'll go into a situation where you're the most at the lower levels.
and with that being said, I feel as though with what you just said, and especially if you guys are listening to this or watching this, is just that when you never did something on that kind of magnitude before, you need to brace yourself and you need to almost put yourself in an uncomfortable position before you even go over there, because you're going to experience a culture shock. And for the most part, if you never did that before, even the game of basketball and the way you experience it completely changes and it resonates with you in a different way. And to me personally, from my personal experience, that you have to genuinely love what you do when you're doing it. Because if you was over here stateside and you playing basketball for the fun of it and you go over there, you can quickly lose the love of the game and want to come back. You know what I mean? Due to the fact that you didn't preparate yourself for the situation that you was going into. So how big is preparation mentally, physically, and understanding the culture that you live in, like with the whole entire process? How important is it for a player that never experienced it before?
True. And I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, you can go over there and have a storied career. Many people do. But I mean, I'm speaking for the people that they're on a lower level, and I preach that. I don't start by addressing players that, these players are star players. They're going to get the best of the best opportunities. There's more low guys on the lower level than the top. That's life. So that's the people I'm speaking for. Those are the guys that, I try to help first and foremost. And I just, recommend for you to have something else other than basketball that's going, because it's an invest. Even though the team is investing in you, it's an investment that you're making too. Because I mean, guys who is coming over there with, maybe they graduated from college, they have a degree, or they have some type of trade. I mean, you're taking time out from being progressive over here to come back and try to look for a job or something. And it's like, what type of experience do you have?
Yeah.
Do the job care that, no, I was overseas for the last 3 years? You know what I'm saying? Is that going
Word.
to help their bottom line of them making money? So, I mean, just have something to be working towards something while you're there, and that keeps you focused too. You know, this
It,
is that added level of extra focus that you take with you. That
so when I first my very first episode of this podcast, man, I gave you a special shout out because of literally what you just said just now. And when we started talking towards the end of the summer and everything, and you were playing these ideas in my head, you know what I mean? I was trying to be as receptive as possible, you know what I mean? Because what you were saying was resonating with me. And I started to see like, dag, like he's right. But it put me in a perspective, which I've been telling a lot of people, you know, about like our encounters where this is somebody that genuinely care. Like, you know what I mean? Especially if somebody is being misused or mistreated in this basketball world, and it's cutthroat. It's real cutthroat, you know, and you could be being bamboozled and you don't even know you being bamboozled. But with you just saying like starting something on the side so you can have something to go to when basketball is done or while you still playing basketball. And then that had me originally start thinking in a different way, you know, and it made me start thinking of just like why you started Pure Passion. And, you know, from the conversations that we had, you know, I just wanted something that I can service others with as well and not have them in a limited thinking kind of mindset, but really want them to see what the reality of the situation is and also the opportunity that comes with being in the reality of the situation. So yet again, for all of y'all that's listening right now, I most likely would not even be delivering this message if it wasn't for this dude right here, man. For real, for real. So with that being said, you guys need to really listen to what he's saying. And that kind of mindset, you can create an opportunity out of pretty much anything. As you hear, man, he didn't have no insight or no real help to get him where he's at right now. But yet again, he's here right now. And he even made it so far and understood his journey so much that he's here breaking it down to me, to break it down to y'all. And that's extremely, extremely important. And how much would you say self-awareness and like self-reliance is a part of that with understanding yourself and knowing what you have to do?
Oh, that's everything. You have to have a passion to do what you're doing. You know what I mean? You have to have the passion, the dedication, the motivation to every day get up and really get after it. Whether you're going to be training or looking at film, you have to break it down. See, guys get taken advantage of because they don't realize it's millions of players. Everybody plays basketball. All right, everybody plays basketball, and there are people who cash in on that. Supply and demand, right? When
Right.
you're hustling, it's supply and demand. Whatever you're doing, working at a job, whatever. That's the bottom line of how things is. It's a lot of demand for people playing basketball. A lot of demand.
So would you, with that being said, I had this conversation a lot and it's starting to turn into like a debate. You know what I'm saying? This is my opinion on the whole basketball situation. A lot of people tell me that a lot of it is based off of statistics and numbers, like, you know, 1 in a million guys make it this far. But my opinion to the whole situation is the stats don't matter. It's the individual that's making those numbers. So you just can't have a million people come out and you're going to be like, randomly, this person is going to be that person. No, it's already decided before the decision was even made, you know, and you just have to want it way more than the next guy around you. That's the only way that you're going to be the top of your field, you know. It's just that you have to be the best of the best, and not everybody's going to make it. With that being said, when you have to compete against other people, because this is not like it's competitive. So with that being said, everybody can't be on the same playing field. Everybody can't be even. Somebody
and
has to be better than somebody.
to piggyback on what you're just saying, and look, it's a situation where the best person doesn't get chosen. There's always other factors involved in that. So like, also people get that mistaken, you know, where you had this guy or this woman or this girl, whatever, the player, period. Um, they're the best. If you look at them, they can score 45 in any type of record league. You know, you have professional players where they match up against and they just, you know, they blow them out of the water.
Right.
That's not the final say either. It's a lot of different circumstances. And you have to realize that you have guys that, you know, they can just play well within the system. You have people who can't play well within the system. Like you have people that's burnt out. You had these kids who, you know what, in 10 years they're gonna be they rank the number one they number one pick in their draft class. Then when they get to college or something, you're like, what happened to this kid? Burnout, life happened. You know what I'm saying?
Word.
You know, for teams to invest in you, for anybody to invest in college, a trainer, they got to know that you're stable unless you're paying. You know, if you're paying, then anybody's willing to let you in any combine. Anybody's willing to let you into basically anything if you're paying.
I
You know what I
really
mean? So like when it comes time for me to pay you, for me to pay you, it's like, okay, how stable is this guy? Can he handle adversity? Is he going to show up day to day, regardless of the situation? Is he going to help the team, or is he going to destroy the team when things are going on? You know what I'm saying? Is what intangibles did this guy have? Is he going to make the next guy play harder, or is he going to make the next guy not even want to play? It's a lot of different things, and you can be the best player, but that don't mean you're going to get the opportunity either. You know what I'm saying? So like, when my whole thing is, whenever I'm involved in any type of combine or anything like that, I just want to give guidance. I want to leave you with something that, you know what, it can help you going forward. You know what I mean? And look, I don't put down any other type of agency or any of these places, but I just know how crooked things are. And I know that, you know, they're going to take anybody money that's walking off the street. You know, you're going to get your 10 minutes of playing time and trying to show what you got to do, and you're going to leave the door, and ain't nobody going to care about you, and that's that.
Yo,
You know what
word.
I'm saying? They care less, and they on to the next one, traveling the country to find the next player. And it ain't no lottery. It's no lottery.
And
Overseas basketball, man.
it's
Trying
a
to play
setup,
professional
man.
basketball. If a team need a player, they're gonna call an agent to get a player. You know, this player is already spoken of. You got a couple different agents that's already filled in their players. Or there is circumstances, stranger things that happen where guys walked in combines and got, you know, didn't have any type of experience in high school, college, and they made it. But that's few and far in between. Most likely, if I need a player, I'm going to call somebody who has something on the line. Like, okay, so they're not going to give me just anybody, because if they give me anybody, I know that I'm not going to contact them ever again for another player. They're not going to just send me anybody.
Bad business.
You know what I'm saying? So that's a part of it too. So like, usually when it's a and right now we're in a pandemic. So, if there's
And you talk about the basketball market right now.
The basketball market is crazy right now. Like, you have situations where leagues are shut down. You have leagues in bubbles. They have travel restrictions and all these type of situations. So right now, if you have people traveling the country for quote unquote overseas type jobs, is that really legit?
Nah, that's the truth, man.
You know what I'm saying? Like, is it
you got to
really,
question
like,
that?
Is it really that many jobs out there right at this moment in time? Now there's jobs in the U.S. There's leagues going on in the U.S. They may pay you a little something until, you get an opportunity to go elsewhere or do whatever. But as far as going, out of the country, it's a little tough right now. It's a little tough right now. So, and with this pandemic, teams, organizations, institutions, they lost a lot of money. Are they going to recoup their money, the money that they lost from the supply and demand market?
So it's automatically, this pretty much, in essence, set like, for example, overseas basketball, like, back a season at least, essentially.
And it shut down. Everything. You have high schools that's not playing, colleges that's not playing. So everybody's set back by it. So it throws everything out of whack right now. There are still opportunities. Obviously, it's players that's still overseas right now that's playing.
Right.
There's players that still, working out for some colleges right now, and they happen to be lucky. But again, there's millions of players. So if you have 10,000 people that's lucky, or not even it's never going to be 10,000. You have 1,000 people that's lucky in this situation out of the million. Listen, applaud them and be ready for your opportunity going forward. Um, if you can cash in on something, but be prepared. Why not be armed with all the information beforehand so you know what to expect?
All right. So we're going to take a little quick commercial break.
Oh.
All right, we back, man. We back. Another thing that I also wanted to ask you is just how you go about like consulting players and telling them what they need in the current situations that they in. Like what's pretty much like your blueprint when you go about talking to these players?
Well, my blueprint it's honestly it's a simple it's very simple. I speak to the players. I want to know a background of their playing, um, how they see the like basically how they see their game. Because like we was talking about self-awareness, you may think that you're this, and then actually you're really not that. So I really want to see how they perceive themselves. I take a look at footage, um, and I give them an honest assessment. I give them an honest assessment. Okay, this is what you need to even be competitive on that level, to even get looked at. Because all these players got a resume, but the resume don't mean that. I mean, a resume is something that people just might just balled up and throw it in the trash and just disregard it. It's not speaking to them. If you're a person that you came from a Division III school or the Division III school, little to no stats, you bounced around. I mean, it doesn't mean that you can't make it anywhere. Um, but you just got to know that, what, I may need something that's stable on my resume, or at least a reference that's stable to make an impact in wherever I go. Because people want to look at it just like a job. Dang, should I hire this person if he don't have no type of work experience? I'm looking at his college. He just bounces around. So do he want to just get this job for two or 3 weeks and then he's going to quit? Is he going to have excuses? Is the coach fault here? Then transfer. Is the coach fault there? And then transfer to another school. Is the coach fault there? It doesn't speak well for you. Versus a guy who may not even be accomplished at all, but he stuck it out in whatever situation that he was in. This guy's a very stable guy. He can take guidance. He can take whatever the coach is going to tell him to do. He's willing to do it. He's just he doesn't get too high. He doesn't get too low. Those type of guys are the type of players that coaches are, coaches love to get. Low maintenance people.
How important, with that being said, how important is having like the right mental attitude and also being coachable to being in all of these versatile situations? Like how important is that?
It's everything. I spoke yesterday to some players. I had a combine myself. A group that I'm into, we had a combine, and I spoke to players and let them know there's a thing about being a high maintenance or a low maintenance player. Organizations want to bring in a low maintenance. Low maintenance player is a guy that's just going to do the job. You don't have to talk him up. You don't have to counsel him every day for him to do his job. That takes, for me to give out, I'm the coach. I got to coach this guy up 45 minutes every day before he go out and do his job. That takes away from my game plan. That takes away from me, trying to reach another player that may have a breakthrough. Like, those organizations don't take those type of players.
Yeah.
Every prima donna, they need a lot. They're going to be calling every day. They need this, they need that. Can I do this? Can I do that? It's like, come on. I just want you here to do your job. Do your job. Go home.
Right.
Professional. When it's a professional league, you're under the assumption that this is a grown man that you're hiring, right? So a grown man is supposedly, they're going to handle their business. We all know that, it's times where everybody has a hard time with something. So I'm not saying it, and I'm not saying it for you to be like you're never going to have a problem, because you're going to have problems, but you just have to address it as a man or as a woman. You know what I mean? Don't be there like, I just need this, I need that. Call the general manager. This situation ain't right. Nobody's situation is right. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's
Word.
situation is right. If everybody can change something about anything about their situation, 9 out of 10 people would.
For
You know what I
real.
mean? So just make it happen. And players be coming from places where they had less and made it happen. So that's my only thing, man. That all goes to play. That all plays a part with the self awareness that we talk about. The expectation, all of this stuff is all rooted in the same thing.
Yeah.
It's literally all rooted in the same thing. And we don't learn that until late, until you realize, you look back on the situation, you're like, man, I messed that situation up. All I had to do was this. All I had to do was that.
Yeah, when you put the
And sometimes you need that. You need that person to talk to in that way. And I'm that person. My gain is not for the team. My gain is not for the agent. I'm just for the player. I'm play a role where I'm just a third party. I'm just a third party. So I'm for the betterment of the player. You're telling me situations. I'm trying to help you out through that situation as best as possible.
and for me personally, I really do believe that you do a really, really good job at that. And also, yet again, for those of you who are listening to this and you guys are in need of some basketball advice, or you just need directions in basketball, this is a great person to come to. He's going to be open and honest with you, and he's going to tell you the truth, whether you like it or not. He's going to tell you what you need to do. And for a lot of you players out there, you need to be honest with yourself. That's the only way that you're going to grow in this sport. You know, you can't be getting told that you're the best all the time, because it's not the truth all the time. And you're going to need somebody to tell you where your weaknesses lie so you can get better and you can grow. You know, that's the biggest thing. And a lot of things that I know for you, you probably was able to apply everything that you learned from basketball to so many different other avenues in your life that you look back on and just like, dag, I'm glad I picked up a basketball.
True, that's true. That's managing, leadership. These type of things come natural to sports players,
Yeah.
regardless of whatever type of sport that you win. Um, that's that's why people they tend to hire people that's involved with sports. Um, you may not be the leader on the team, but you know where your role is. You know what I mean? So yeah, sports helped me out a lot in terms of how I go about life. You know what I mean? But and another thing that helps me out with is just balance. You just have to have overall balance. You can't be. I mean, you don't get so emotional in because that's going to lead to a crash and burn.
Yeah.
Take time out to think about situations clearly, because it could be the smallest thing that can take you over the top. And a lot of players, they don't understand that. And I mean, I try to do everything that I can. So when I speak to my clients, whether they're youth or they're professionals somewhere, just give me the information. Let's talk about it. If we talk about it, we can come up with a solution. And the solution is going to be individualized to the person that I'm dealing with, because every situation is not the same. Every situation is not the same. Now, I always leave the player with this. I can't make you do anything. I can't say that I can't give you 100% success that you're going to be successful. Nobody can.
Yeah.
I just can't do that. But I do know that my process works. So if I give you a recommendation, are you going to follow it? How dedicated are you? You have to challenge yourself.
Yo, word up, man.
You know, I'm going to be there for you with a distance, but you have to challenge yourself, and you got to want to make it more than me. I can believe in you 1,000%, but if you don't believe in yourself, it's a chance that you're probably never going to reach your potential.
Yo, you're absolutely right, man. And I want to ask you about the upcoming events that you got coming up. Your new academy that you start next month or in the next 2 months, and I want the listeners and the viewers to hear what you got going on and better understand the man of what you got going on.
All right, so in terms of my academy is going to be located in St. Cloud, Florida, in that St. Cloud, Kissimmee area. And what I want to do is I want to give players the opportunity to get away from the situations where they're at and come down here with me, work out with me 4 days out of the week or 5 days a week, whatever we can accommodate you for. And I'm going to break down your game. I'm going to promote you. I'm going to basically provide you with the tools that help you get to the next level. Because sometimes, you're in your situation and you could be working out as hard as possible, as long as you think that you're working out as hard as possible, but you're dealing with so many distractions. You don't have nobody rebounding for you. You don't have nobody in a situation where you're trying to get to. So it makes it a little harder, versus you coming down here and you get in the business right away. And you don't have to worry about transportation once you get down here. Pick you up from the airport, take you to the facility. Now the workout schedule is grueling though. But you handle your business, you work out. I leave you with a day to have fun or whatever, take you down to Universal Studios, Disney World, free your mind. You come back a different person in your environment, So that's what we're doing.
That's a beautiful thing, man. And I
And we're
think
working
that
with people of all ages.
so boom, that's even better. So for those of you listening to this, so if you got, adults, kids, or anything, he has a program that's suitable for all ages. He's literally just trying to help you to become a better basketball player and understand your strengths and weaknesses as a basketball player.
And as a person too, when you come back, both you'll have that balance. And it don't matter what skill level you on, what walk of life that you coming from. We take everybody. You know what? If you apply and I look at your situation, if I can help you, if I can't, I'm not gonna take anything. I'm not gonna take anything from you. I will either refer you to somebody else, or I just let you know straight up. Listen, your situation is not for us. So you won't waste time. You won't waste time. But if I do bring you down here, if you do decide to come down here, if you set it up with me, we're gonna get to work. And I can guarantee you that you're gonna come back a different person.
All right, I love it, man. So tell everybody where they can find you at, man.
They can find me on they can find us on Instagram, Pure Passion Sports, pure_passion_sports. We're on Facebook, Pure Passion Sports. Website, purepassionsportsbasketball.com. Phone number 407-686-4666. And we everywhere, man. We have collaborations with other institutions, other agencies, other teams. So, we have a network of guys that really want to help people. So,
and also they also got some fire merch, man, from the sneakers, the shorts, the shirts, the whole nine. They got some fire merch. And everything, I'm gonna put it down in the description below. Like for if you're watching this on YouTube or anything, so you're gonna have all the links below just to follow them. All right. So for everybody, man, I love y'all and continue to serve your purpose. Sean is definitely doing his, and I thank y'all and I love y'all. Thanks for coming on the show, Sean.
Oh man, thank you for having me. Purpose serve. Everybody pay attention to that because man, this guy is going out his way to help people. You can't ask for no more than that.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Love you guys, and you guys have a good one.